What's up, guys? This is syphic back again with a little video. The pickings out here have been pretty tough. I haven't really scored much lately, but I decided to do a little video on my Turbografx or NEC, I guess, system collection. Was kind of cleaning up a bunch of consoles and decided to just kind of lay them all out and just kind of go over all the stuff that's in my current collection. So I've laid it all out here for you guys to check out. So let's start off over here. This is the system that pretty much started it all. This is the original white PC engine. I have the cables and everything for this. I'm just missing the controller. The only difference between the controllers on all of these consoles is, as you can see here on this one, these have the turbo fire buttons. The original controller that came with this one did not have the turbo fire buttons. Those were added later in this model, the Core Graphics. This one basically they added AV outputs, whereas this one is only RF. So this one ended up having AV, and then it had a newer, more modern controller with turbo fire buttons. I believe it did make a white and red controller with turbo fire buttons later to match this console. But yeah, these are really, really cool. They're really tiny. As you can see back here is the extension port. Basically, it still holds the record for the smallest console ever released. It's literally the size of a CD. Basically, when they released the Turbografx in America, they just made it bigger because Americans back in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, bigger was better, whereas now, like, smaller is cooler. So, but yeah, so this is the original PC engine. This is the PC Engine Core Graphics, which is the second system that came out. Once they released it in the US, basically we got this model here, which is the Turbografx-16. I got a couple of systems here in the box, and these are both complete, and so those are pretty cool. This piece over here is pretty neat. These pop up every so once in a while, these cases, but usually inside when you open them up they're styrofoam. This one is hard cased. It's kind of cool. It has the Turbografx-16 logo, has a handle here, and when you open them up, let's see here, this one actually has everything. It's like it's plastic molding in here, so it's hard. It has the AC adapter engraved in here, the antenna switch. This section here is for games. Gotta have the best titles, of course. Got Splatterhouse, Bonks Adventure, Superstar Soldier. Basically holds a system and a turbo booster. Has room for 2 controllers and a turbo tap. And it even says right there, turbo tap at the bottom right there. So you got the turbo tap in there. And it says turbo pad and turbo pad 2, and then when you lift the system up, this is their turbo booster, master unit, and there's just some paperwork and some extra little adapters that come in there. And so that was pretty cool. A little bit different than the ones I've seen before that just have the styrofoam inside, the styrofoam cutouts. Let's see here, something's blocking this here, but we'll just move that aside. Afterwards, basically, we did receive these, the CD-ROM setup basically came in this hard shell case here with the Turbografx logo, and inside obviously would hold the adapter, AV cables, the controller, and then you got your unit here, and then you got your CD-ROM drives here, which is pretty cool. These are the Super System cards. Basically they're just RAM upgrades. This is version 2.0. In Japan they had a 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. We only got a 2.0 and a 3.0. Here's just a secondary unit, and as you can see here, here's a version 1.0 system card, Japanese version. Both these units are working. If you guys ever pick these up, they're usually broken. Usually what it is the gears go out inside the system, so people will say that they power on but they don't spin, and that's usually because of the gear. But then sometimes it also is a drive motor, and maybe they need a new laser as well. Luckily both these systems work perfectly. After that, then we received the Turbo Expresses, which at the time was pretty cool because you were actually able to play your official Turbografx games on the go. Both these Turbo Expresses, they do need recapping. One of them has been recapped, but not partially and stuff. So I'm gonna send these off to get fixed. These are really, really cool. They're pretty big, but they're pretty nice. Definitely gotta have a Ninja Spirit back there. Feels comfortable. Does require a bunch of batteries, but you know, some people mod these and you can play Japanese games on them and stuff like that. So I like to keep my hardware original, so I don't really mess with those. After that, with the Super Nintendo being released, they felt the need to upgrade, and that's when this bad boy popped up. This was supposed to be called the PC Engine 2. Ended up being titled the Turbografx. Same controller output, just different color. And basically, it just didn't do the trick. There was just some bad setup, and none of the games really took advantage of anything. I think the same CPU was included in there, so they couldn't really do anything extra to make the games look any better. They added, I think, extra background scrolling and stuff like that. But I love the system. It's pretty cool, and it's a system I remember seeing in magazines and was just always wanting. So finally had to pick one of those up. This right here is just a Neo flash cart. It's basically like an EverDrive, an older version of the EverDrive, but it holds quite a few games, about 10, 12 games and stuff, and it gets the job done. So that's pretty cool. Then in America they wanted one last hurrah, or one last like breather, so they released the Turbo Duo. I've got 4 of them here. They all work with the exception of one that just does it powers on, but unfortunately doesn't display anything, so I'm not sure. I might need a full recapping. Same thing with these two. They're built in the 90s. They use bad capacitors, and if you find these, they're probably leaking, and you're gonna eventually have to have it recapped. And even if yours is still working and it's never been recapped, eventually it's gonna have to be done, because eventually those caps are gonna start leaking. But they're all in pretty good shape, and I was able to score these locally, so that was pretty cool. And this is the box that the Turbo Duo would have came in. It's kind of cool. Normally would have had a strip here letting you know all the games it came with. This thing was packed, man. It came with like 5 titles, good titles too. They were really trying to push the system towards the end of its life, trying to get this going, but unfortunately Super Nintendo and Genesis just had marketing budgets that just killed the system. But I mean, you got an awesome deal when you picked this up. It was like $2.99 at the time, and you got like 5-6 games. There's a coupon book inside, like for $50 off, like $5 off a bunch of games and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it for all the consoles for NEC that I have. Hopefully I do want to pick up a Duo RX and maybe a Duo R as well. Well, basically the same thing, just different controllers. Over here we have some accessories. This is the packaging that would have came if you would have gone to the store and bought a Duo pad. It would have came in a box like this. So I got another box one here. This one is missing the box, but it's pretty new. I don't think it's ever been used actually. Just missing the box on that. They also did change the adapter type. In Japan the adapter is all the same size, but in the US the Turbografx stuff is bigger. So they made these adapters here, so if you upgraded to a Duo you can use your old controllers on the Duo, and that's what this adapter here is for. Got some just regular spare Turbo Duo pads, and basically they just changed the colors. They never really did any upgrades. That was the Avenue Pad 6 that had 6 buttons. There was an Avenue Pad 3 that had 3 buttons and stuff like that. Those just came out in Japan, never made it out here. If you plan on buying a Turbografx, the American version, you definitely need an extension cable. For those of you who know, I mean, these cables are really super short. So these come in handy. Basically just plug in the end at one end, and it makes it a lot longer. Got a couple of box Duo taps. Actually I have 3 of them. Here's the one with no box, so you can see what it looks like. All the turbos, they all just had one input, so you definitely needed to pick up one of these. Basically plug this in and pop it in, and you could have a Bomberman Festival, a Dungeon Explorer. This is what new turbo pads look like. These are not in box, so I don't have the box, but they are new. They've never been brought out of the package, but that's what they would look like. This is the only like official turbo stick that came out that was released by NEC, and it's a pretty nice joystick. It gets the job done. I like it. And then there are some other like knockoffs. Or this is the Ultimate Super Stick. Basically, this one you could play left and right-handed. It's okay, and has, you know, turbo fire buttons and all that. We got this other Ace More Super Stick, which I've never actually used, so I'm not sure how good that is. And then there was actually like a flight stick called the Python 4 that were released for it. I'm not sure what games would really be useful for this. Maybe there's a Falcon, but that game sucks. Maybe Space Harrier would be kind of cool to use this, or maybe if you do get a maybe Afterburner was released for the PC Engine, so maybe this would be kind of cool. And then this one I've had for quite some time. This is the XE1 PC, and this one's kind of cool. I like this one. This one's pretty nice. Has some sponges at the bottom with suction cups, and so it could stick onto the table so you can game it up. So And that's pretty much everything that I currently have for my Turbografx. It's a pretty expansive, I guess, collection. But it's a collection I'm pretty proud of. It's taken me a while to build it up, and like I said, I want to add more to it. If any of you guys out there have any extra controllers, accessories, and stuff like that, hit me up. You know, I'm always looking for trades for other stuff that I do not have. Definitely currently am looking for an Avenue Pad 6 or 3. So if anyone out there has any of that stuff, hit me up and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just want to do a quick video of where I'm at with my collection, and hopefully you guys out there are finding some awesome stuff. And good luck out there, guys. It's getting harder, it's getting tougher, but there's still stuff out there waiting to be found, so find it. Alright guys, this is syphic once again, signing out. Take care, guys. Lates.